Welcome to another episode of the SLO Good Life, where we talk to the good people about the good events, good happenings, the good life that we call the SLO Good Life. And one of the best areas in the United States, my personal opinion, the San Luis Obispo City, County, and the Greater Central Coast area. Hey, back in the studio is a friend, chef, traveler, background in chemistry. You'll have to get that from him. We're going to frame it a little bit, but Michael Arema. Michael, welcome back to SLO Good Life.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Michael, I'm really happy to announce that today we embark on a new series with a little bit of background on the what we call Bella Via series. And so where we joined was out in the community talking about the SLO Good Life interests. I'm going to let you talk about how you got here. But the Mediterranean diet, which means so much more than most people understand, and then talk a little bit about why you got to where you're at in life. Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough. My past life was in chemistry. Actually, my degree is a chemical engineer, and I was expert. I am still expert, but I do this for fun now, on recycling, chemistry, and this is one of the two reasons why I led to the Mediterranean diet. First of all, because part of my family was chemists, and another part of my family was in the food business, creating food. And the other one is that because as chemical engineer, I was working in the last part of my life in the recycling business.
Yeah.
And the recycling business, you need to know which is the composition of the material you have to recycle. So, and I was involved one time in recycling waste food. It means that to recycle waste food, you have an analysis of all the components of the waste food, and the content of what's in the waste food was not very nice.
So your job was to know what was going in and how to deal with it and treat it.
Exactly. So I start at that point to learn how to read the label that normally people, they don't do it. And because of this, I was starting to understand exactly how to make food, and I understood that there are basically two kinds of food, natural food and industrial food. Industrial food, they have some components that are not exactly the best for our body.
Michael, that's not a term you hear. You hear a lot of natural, organic. The opposite you would put under the category industrial food. Is that part of the canola oil, inflammatory machine oil, rapeseed oil? Is that under the big umbrella of industrial food?
Yes, exactly. I mean, you're already gone in a big part of what means Mediterranean diet, because I think that the first clarification about everything is what is the history of Mediterranean diet. Many people suggest to embrace the Mediterranean diet, but in my opinion, there is a lot of confusion about the term Mediterranean diet. First of all, Mediterranean diet is referred to something that is not only related to the food. Many people, they think that Mediterranean diet is related just what you put in your mouth. Yes, but it's just a part. Diet comes from a Greek word that is diaita and means lifestyle, like I said always. Many people, they come to me and they say, okay, teach me about something about the Mediterranean diet, and they talk to me smoking or drinking a lot of whiskey every day. Well, I say, to avoid to waste time for both of us, if you smoke a pack of cigarette a day, you don't need to follow Mediterranean diet.
So this person that comes to you for advice doesn't realize how you made this journey that you started on. I don't want to get too far off the train, because this is fascinating to frame you, because this is part of your expertise.
Yeah.
Your why, to me, is not just your training, it's the path that you were embarked on. And we talked previously, and I want to jump back real quick before we go, because you encapsulated that. But your journey, Michael, you were in this managerial ownership, consulting, travel, executive. I hear stress. I hear maybe not the best diet, but as you were looking at food, you begin to think about what you were eating and doing.
Exactly.
Okay. So right there, I don't want to jump out of that too quickly because you got here. You took that seriously. You didn't have a heart attack.
No.
You could have.
Yeah, of course.
You weren't living the best.
Yeah.
So during that time, you began to look. What you're talking about now, people coming, asking, is not necessarily degrees in all this. It's a lifestyle, a commitment that you made after having successful careers before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me describe. There are many. It's like a puzzle, you know. There are many subjects you can put together to reach the point of the definition of Mediterranean diet. If we want to talk about, for example, the history of Mediterranean diet, is that many people don't know that Mediterranean diet is a term that was born here in the United States. Because a scientist, his name is Ancel Keys.
Okay.
Ancel Keys, Ays. He was one of professor of. He had 2 PhD, if I remember well. One was about physiology, nutrition, and he was involved in nutrition of a soldier during the Second World War. If someone has been in the army, he was. He has been familiar with the K ratio, and K ratio, a K,
Yes.
is the
MRI meal packs that the soldiers would be issued.
Exactly, and the key ratio keys because of Ancel Keys.
Now that's a very fascinating tie-in because many people, whether they watch MASH, they were in the service, know that term, but that's the history.
Yes.
So he was the consultant that the government went to.
Exactly. So what was the purpose of this K ratio? The purpose of this K ratio was to give the best nutrition value to the soldier in crisis moment. This guy, after the Second World War, started to make some kind of a comparison between many countries. And he noticed that in the United States, for example, the people, they had heart disease 5 times more than people in the same condition in a country like Italy or Greece.
5 times.
5 times more.
You talk about statistically significant.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And so, statistically speaking, in the United States, people, they were they have problem. They had the possibility to die for heart disease 5 times more than people in Italy, especially in the southern.
So he saw that. Now, before we jump all the way to today, I guess I'm going to do it real quick, and then I want to jump back. Has it changed a lot, Michael?
What do you mean?
The numbers, have they changed significantly better from that period of time?
Yes and no. I will explain later.
Great. Let's get into that. So he made these correlations.
Yes. So he tried to find what was the reason why. I mean, apparently after the Second World War, the life in the United States was much better than the life in Italy that was destroyed by the war. He tried to find out what was the reason why in the United States people, they were able to die 5 times more possibly than in Italy. And he found out that the main reason was nutrition. But he started with this, just study the nutrition, and he found out that, for example, the nutrition in the southern of Italy was much poor compared to nutrition that in the United States.
And when you say nutrition, you're not just talking about the ingredients. It is the quality of the ingredients in the comparison, right?
The quality and the kind of food they were put on the table in Italy and the United States. For example, in the United States at that time, the quantity of meat consumed in the United States was much higher than meat in Italy, for example. In Italy, he started for kind of, just by chance, because he participated to a convention in Rome where he found a colleague, one of the responsible of the department, physiology department of University of Naples, and they were discussing about this, and he decided to go a little bit deeper on some kind of a category of people the same category, in the same situation of people that they were in the United States and Italy. And they start to study firefighter.
As a substrate of the population, those categories.
Yes, category, just to define the category, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to study the firefighter in Italy and the firefighter in the United States. Firefighter, especially in Naples. And they saw they were, first of all, they had much less problem with the firefighter in the United States because they were lean, they had some kind of nutrition very different, they were in a very, very physical condition much better. So he was starting to study the nutrition, and they saw that, for example, the diets of the firefighter in Italy were almost vegetable and fish with a little amount of meat. That was the biggest difference. So that was the starting point. The starting point was about this, and it was going on to study in different places, small community. In here, this kind of study has been very long, I think 10, 15 years, something like that. And he has been all over the world also to study different population related to the lifestyle and the food.
Are these now, I don't want to steal your thunder.
Yeah.
But is this the blue zones?
Exactly.
We're getting onto that.
Yes.
Now, you hear that term. It comes up at cocktail parties. People want to travel there. Michael, for our listeners, the SLO Good Life listeners, what is this all about? Is this legitimate?
Yes, absolutely. It's very legitimate because he has found that all this kind of blue zone means blue, the place where people, they were acting in the same way. You know, of course, the blue zone in Japan is different from blue zone on Icaria, that is in Greece or the southern of Italy, but the lifestyle is the same. Basically, they have a lot of food that comes from the vegetable, a lot of fish, few amount of meat, very few amount of sugar. And all this study leads to what is very important for us to take care, is so-called pyramid, Mediterranean pyramid, where you have the base of you should do this every day, and going up in the pyramid, you should have this kind of food with the less frequency. Let's clarify this. Mediterranean diet is not don't do it diet. You can do everything, but what you do is related to your age and the amount of what you do.
Michael, for our guests, for our listeners, we're going to go ahead and post on Instagram website this Mediterranean diet pyramid. This is different, more 360, more contextual than anything I've ever seen. I'm looking at this copy right here. Our listeners can look it up online when this podcast comes out. But so I heard the word moderation, but I heard context of age, where you live, lifestyle, history, health, a lot of factors than just bread at the bottom and X, correct. Y, and Z.
That's correct. A lot of fact. In reality, when Ancel Keys decided to land in the southern of Italy, he decided to live his last part of his life in a place, a small village, southern of Naples, 2 hours drive south of Naples.
Now, for our listeners, that's where you were born.
Yes.
That's your home.
Yes.
Okay.
Not very far from my hometown.
Fair enough.
When he decided to live there, he started to study the lifestyle of the population, and he was putting together all the observation about what this population they do, the way they live, and what they eat. So he was putting everything together, and that was the reason why he made this pyramid.
This was the result of it?
Absolutely.
And so, did he end up there by intention, a little bit of serendipity, accident, or was that all?
No. It was just the result of a very deep study and observation for many, many, many years. In fact, at the end of the day, he decided to live there the last part of his life, and he died. He died at 101 years old because in the last 25 years of his life he was living in that place. Even if at the end, when he decided to come back to the United States and die in the United States, but he was living there.
We got to throw the brakes on, because I would gather that a large percentage of our audience are 50 and above, like us. We're just a little over 50. Right. Chuckle. But with that said, what you're saying to me, you could be 70, you could be 60, you could be 50, make significant changes.
Absolutely.
And even though you didn't start in your teens, the outcome is still very, 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 could be very different.
Yeah.
Boy, doesn't that breed hope?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to my friend Kyle Brooks. Dr. Kyle Brooks of Cayucos Chiropractic treated my back recently. Dr. Brooks takes the time to listen, understand your concerns, and then develops a personalized care plan designed specifically for you. Tell you what, he got me back up and running in a short amount of time with the treatment plan, the exercises. I'm so grateful. Check him out today at cayucoschiropractic.com online, or call him and set up your first appointment at 805-457-5808. Cayucos Chiropractic.
If you follow some rules, like the people that were following the rules there, you can live longer and in good health. That is very important. That doesn't mean you will live forever. It's very difficult. You can reach 150 years, but at one point he made different observation studying those people, and he noticed that those people, that is his word, literally they forgot to die because they were busy every day. They were never alone. No supermarket around, means for them was practically impossible to buy crap food. The crap food was not available. Everybody was growing the food. Everybody was working the field. Everybody was never alone. They were making social activity. They had a family activity. I don't know if we can say, even if over 70, 80, they still had sex with some kind of regularly. Of course, difference that if you are 20,
yes,
50, but to have sex between 70, 80 and over
becomes more of a rarity versus...
Exactly, and it depends.
Yes.
In fact, one of the rules of the Mediterranean diet, that is not the same for everybody. If you are 20, you can have some kind of amount of sugar or meat. If you are 50 or 60, it's completely different.
Because the way the body processes things.
Because exactly.
I remember turning 50, and I remember there being a trace of sugar in my blood, but enough to get my attention, enough for the doctor to say, James, this is the first I heard about the, what's the part of the body that processes for the insulin, the pancreas. They said it doesn't work as efficiently. Now, to a young man, all my life, up till 50 in my mind, that was like, the eyes. Your eyes, you start needing different glasses. That was a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
But it got my attention, and I would back off and be more moderate and not eat 2 slices of something. Now I have to be even more careful.
Yes.
But I'm a little bit older, too. So
Sure. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So those people, we're talking about the Cilento in that case, where Ancel Keys was living there. Those people, they were living very simply, with very simple food, not very complicated. They had a beautiful social life, and they were never alone. Again, never had crap food, and
never had crap food.
Never.
Now we dig right into that.
Yeah.
I mean, people are starting to read. Wait a minute. You mean the pasta that I buy in America is not the same? No. You mean all these food colorings that we just take in cereals and beverages? They don't have those in Italy? They're outlawed?
Well, no, they do now, but at that time in the southern of Italy, there was not. One of the things that we don't do it, not only in the United States, but all over the world, is that we don't read the label. The label that must be put on each kind of food,
The required information.
the required information should be very easy. Sometimes you don't know what you're putting in your mouth because it's written on the label, but you don't know what it's talking about.
Natural flavors. What the heck does that mean?
Natural flavors means something that can enhance the flavor of what you put in your mouth, but it's not natural.
See, it's a misnomer.
Yes.
And so many things are on the label, but when you do a deep dive, you realize, maybe I don't want that. I know my wife, if it says spices, it doesn't list them. I have to be very careful. Some of the reactions are allergies.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes you put in your mouth think that your body does not recognize, doesn't know what it is.
So, Michael, you mentioned a city, the name. Could you spell that, the city that Ancel lived in, Keys, the last part of his life?
Pioppi. Pioppi.
Okay. And then
where there is a museum. It's a Mediterranean Diet Museum.
And then Cilento?
It's the region.
Cilento
is the region.
Mm-hmm.
Is the region where there are so many small towns, and one of these small towns is called Pioppi, where Ancel Keys decided to live the last part of his life.
Michael, I know you do travel, and I know you do travel as a guide, concierge travel. We have not talked about this yet. Have you had the opportunity, out of interest, to visit this region a couple hours south of Naples?
Absolutely, yes.
Is it top? Would you say top on the list for people wanting to look for a good life or a better life?
We are introducing this in the next trip. Next year we'll be there. Because many people, when they come to Italy, they want to go in a big city that we don't want to go. Well, we go close to the big city. We try to enjoy the Mediterranean life using absolutely, for example, the lifestyle and using some good food in nice places.
So this would include you going ahead of time, picking out maybe the best representations of what that region has to offer, an organic, fresh.
Absolutely.
What's the term now? Sustainable? Sustainable is
one of the features that we can have when we talk about the Mediterranean diet. The sustainable means, for example, Mediterranean diet is very keen to protect the environment. Yeah, because if you don't buy crap food, you don't buy industrial food, you are protecting the environment because you don't have any waste, for example. Just by chance.
All the industrial
And
waste.
there is another thing that is very important. Sometimes many people, they have allergy, dairy allergy, because you cannot have milk. But it's not that you cannot have milk. You have to pay attention how the cow has been fed. Because the source, if you have the cheese that is made by the milk, where a cow goes in a field and you have the best green, it's different. It's like we talk about fish. If we talk about fish, for example, the fish that are farm-raised, salmon, the salmon sometimes in 1 cubic meter there are 100 salmon. So they eat very bad stuff because they must grow. Same with the chicken. If you go in Cilento, you would never found a chicken that become eatable in 3 months.
They say no added hormones. That's the law.
Absolutely.
But the foods and everything they feed them is the basis for this rapid growth, which is not normal.
Exactly.
Oh, mercy, you're going down quite an avenue here. But it pays to look into that because this, what is one of the oldest sayings ever? I grew up with it. And I think it would be really good to revisit it, Michael. You are what you eat.
Yes.
That's so true, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I want to just say this. We had the clients, they were coming to Italy. Someone say, you know what, I have a problem with the gluten. I have a problem with the dairy. I have a problem with tomato. They come to Italy, they had the best pizza with a lot of cheese and mozzarella. Because the way we make mozzarella is not industrial. We feed the cow. We have a buffalo mozzarella, for example. The buffalo, they are fed with the best high you can have, and they work very well. It's not very important what you have. The way you produce what you are eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't use pesticide. some pesticide, but many pesticide in Italy, in Europe generally speaking, but in Italy in particular, are completely forbidden. And of course, if you go in a small town like Pioppi and Cilento, they don't even know what is pesticide.
So I think, a lot of folks that hear this Slow Good Life podcast, they may have taken, tours of some of the different properties that make this area what it is. They dissect. So what you're saying is you're starting to offer that same type of deeper dive into what provides this longevity, this happiness, more of a fulfilled life. And it's not always in Milano.
No.
I mean, you're not avoiding that.
No.
We fly in there and...
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a very important, that is a little bit in your name, SLO Life. Slow, not only SLO, but SLOW, because everything you must do is very slow. You have to enjoy what you do. Slow life means that Mediterranean diet has slow life inside.
That's understood in the approach.
Yes, because if you are rushing, you can have anxiety, you are already against slow life. Slow life means you have to do everything in a way that you can appreciate what you are doing.
Folks, I want to tell you, just hanging out with Chef Michael, Travel Concierge Michael, is kind of cool because he brings that vibe. I mean, it's hard to replicate this in words, but I just want to, thank you, Michael, for the vibe you bring. It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
When people come into the studio, I often view them as the UFO that just crashed. And so today we're really doing, as you did in your own life, a reverse engineering. We're peeling back the layers. And so, we were chatting at some of the mixers for the chamber, and you talked about your former life, travel, decision-making, consulting, keeping up with the technology. I get it. And like you, I made a decision to jump out of that.
Yep.
But we still have goals, ambition.
Yeah.
Still work very hard. We just go about doing it differently.
Yes.
And I think the interest that's coming out of this, the Mediterranean diet, the changes that you made personally have just manifest into your life, and you can't help but want to share.
Yeah, absolutely that. I mean, because one of the big enemy of Mediterranean diet is the lack of knowledge. And we can go deeper, like I said before, we can go deeper into kind of subject. But if you start from a few tips, for example, if you know that you know what you put in your mouth, and you know what you put in your mouth, what can cause, you can avoid many, many problems.
If you have that knowledge.
Yes.
People look for olive oil, even in potato chips, versus sunflower, canola, things like that. You hear people asking more questions. That's starting to be an awakening to what, because you can find good food. You just got to look for it.
Generally speaking, you have two kind of food. Some food that can cause inflammation, and some food can fight inflammation.
Oh, so foods that don't cause problems, but they're actually very beneficial.
Yes. And this is, of course, related also to the age, because when you are, like I said, 20, we have a different kind of turning point in our life. And in the first part of your life, between 13 and 30, you can do almost anything you want. Well, is it the quantity that make the poison, of course. But let's say that when you are 20, 25, you can have some generous glass of wine. When you're over 70, 75, you must pay attention. It depends what kind of lifestyle you have.
And that includes weight, exercise,
that is
socializing?
Absolutely yes. Because one of the way, for example, to generally speaking, to determine what kind of stage you are is to see the circumference of your belly, if it's too big, maybe you can have some problem. You start to have some problem because most probably you put something that is wrong in your mouth, starting from the sugar that, by the way, is everywhere. And the sugar give much more problem of the alcohol. The sugar can create problem building up some fat.
And this is so big, so huge.
Yeah.
People go, well, I didn't eat. There wasn't a lot of bread. Sugar's tucked into ketchup, all kinds of things.
Sugar is everywhere. Especially some kind of sugar that is called high concentration corn syrup that is almost everywhere. In my opinion, you should avoid, especially if you are over 50. Yeah. So, and this is one of this subject. Another thing is that if you can put in your mouth some extra virgin olive oil, right extra virgin olive oil, you are helping your system to defend himself.
Blueberries, antioxidants. Cucumber is anti-inflammatory. You start going down these avenues.
Yeah.
Low sugar, highly beneficial strawberries. You start learning the fruits to grab and the consistency, not just I'm going on my after New Year's resolution, but I'm changing my lifestyle. Is
exactly.
Where the rubber hits the road.
Another reason why the definition of a slow life is very important, because slower is your change, better is your future. It means if you decide to start a diet to lose weight, and you say, well, I will start a diet to lose weight 50 pounds in 2 weeks. Congratulations. You will recover everything with the interest. You have to lose weight slowly. Slow is better.
That's a strong statement you made about
very
you'll
strong.
pay back with interest.
Yes.
Yeah. No, there's no fast shortcuts.
No, there is no shortcut in this case.
But the good news is this information is relative whether you're 20, 50, 80. It's relative.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Michael Arema and is a chef. He's an instructor, loves to travel, loves to encourage, has concierge travel, and we will talk about that in future episodes. This is the SLO Good Life, and this is the Bella Via series, which is the good path, good direction, the beautiful path, the beautiful direction. We're going to be continuing to go back to that because we can all do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to follow a few tips. You can reach some very nice goal to live better.
Michael, I appreciate so much you coming in for this first episode.
My pleasure.
And we want to invite people to join with us as we discover not just the SLO Good Life, but maybe a better life, which we call Bella Via, which is the better path, not just the first step, but a bunch of steps for a better life. I'm your host, James Davis, and we want to thank SLO Talk Podcasting Studio for producing this episode. All the best, and see you next time. Thank you for listening to another episode of the SLO Good Life podcast, where we talk about the people, events, organizations, and destinations that make San Luis Obispo and the California Central Coast one of the best places ever to live, work, play, and visit. Listen to the SLO Good Life podcast wherever you get your podcasts. This episode of the SLO Good Life podcast is sponsored by the SLO Talk Podcasting Studio, SLO County's premier podcast studio for all of your podcast development, recording, production, distribution, and marketing needs. Check out SLO Talk Podcasting Studio at SLOTalk.com. This is James Davis here, and I look forward to having you again with us next time. All the best.